Assalamu alaikum, guys. So I'm gonna tell you from the get-go that this video is probably going to be all over the place. My mind is a little bit of a whirlwind right now. So as I told you guys last week, I called my mother-in-law and I spoke to her. And then after that, I was thinking maybe I should call her again. Maybe I should check up on her. And as I was battling those thoughts between should I or should I not, she just ended up calling my husband instead and never really calling me. So it just goes to show to me that when the daughter-in-law doesn't take initiative and if the son doesn't speak to the mother, she's still going to be blamed as, oh, it's because of her that my son is not talking to me. And if the daughter-in-law does take a step and try to mend the relationship and be the bigger person, as long as she gets her son, you still don't matter. That's just how it is with some people. I'm not gonna say all in-laws. So that's my current state of affairs with that. But you know, we do things for the sake of Allah, and I just have to remind myself of that and just let it go, because I stressed for too many years and now I am too unhealthy to worry about anyone else at this point but myself. So this is just a reminder for you. Put yourself first. There comes a time where you draw the line, set your boundaries, and just let it go. It is what it is. In terms of my son, so the last time I made a video was probably in January about him. That was the first time I made it about him beating me up the previous year. But since I want to say end of December, he's been clapping. He started to say mama again and baba, but then it's been a couple of months where he stopped saying it, and now he started again kind of with the mama, mama, mama. And really when he's stressed out, he'll just say mom or mama. And he's been waving a lot. I think he learned it probably over the past few weeks, I want to say. He waves like this. It's the cutest thing ever. It's kind of like when he wants to sign all done or hi or bye, or if he doesn't want something, he does that for everything. I just can't get over it. We went out to eat the other night and he just kept waving at everyone who was coming into the store and leaving the store, and it was kind of heartbreaking because some people are just not as friendly and they don't want to say hi to you, or they have their own problems and they're stressed, or they just don't see you. But he's just a kid and he doesn't understand, so he would just continue doing this the whole time, you know? And I felt bad for him, but I'm very happy that he is waving and he is friendly and he's a social kid. And when we took him to the park last week, like this one kid came up to him and gave him his bubble wand because my son was looking at all the bubbles and I had left his at home. And that was so nice. And then another kid who doesn't even speak English, he was Chinese, I think. He came and he gave my son a toy. It was like a little helicopter. And I was like, oh no, you don't have to give it to him, thank you, and everything. And at the end, you know, we were giving it back to him and he was like, no, like he didn't want it. So it's just crazy to me how kids inherently are not racist. They don't even need language to communicate. Like the kid speaks Chinese, he doesn't know a word of English. My son doesn't speak at all. And yet the kid was still so nice and he gave him his toy and he was like holding him and putting his hand on his shoulder and stuff. And I thought that was really cute. And I do think that as adults, we're kind of jaded and we need to learn a thing or two from kids, because kids are just so innocent, they're so pure, they teach us so much about life if we actually pay attention and reflect on it. Another thing I noticed since last weekend is that my son will shake his head no, which he's never done that before. Like last week, my dad was telling my son, like, hey, do you want to go to sleep with me, or do you want to chill with me in the other room? And he was just like this. And my dad, we were like, whoa, he's shaking his head? Does he know what that means? So then he tried again. He's like, you want to go to the other room with me? And then my son was like, so he was shaking his head and, you know, doing that hand gesture. And I think that's really cute. And I'm so proud of him. I love him so much. I'm so happy for him. But my brain, I don't know if maybe I'm also neurodivergent. I'm pretty sure I have like anxiety disorder. I'm pretty sure I have OCD, especially with intrusive thoughts. And I don't know if maybe I'm also like on the spectrum, like the more I learn about my kid. Actually, I don't have a definitive diagnosis of autism for my son, by the way. This was just something that I had suspected myself, and the pediatrician also suspects. And then when I started him on early intervention, the therapist came in and assessed him, and she gave him a diagnosis of, autism, but his legit, like for sure diagnosis, he has an appointment coming up in a few weeks actually on May 20th. It was like a 9 or 10 month, I don't know, wait just to see this developmental or behavioral pediatrician. I don't know, I don't remember what exactly it's called. But this was the soonest I could get him in. I made this appointment last year, probably July or August. The other ones that I had, the other places I called, they were like 2025, 2026, like years out. So I am a little bit nervous for the appointment, but I'm also not nervous because I know at the end of the day, like I already assumed or know or have the strong feeling that he is autistic. So what is this appointment going to do for me? Like, I already got past that stage last year where I was like depressed. Alhamdulillah, he's so much better, so I don't care, it is what it is. I just hope that one day, inshallah, he can talk and be self-sufficient. That's all I want. And, it's a cruel world out there. I just feel so bad for the kids who are nonverbal and cannot talk because people are evil, people are crazy out there. And, going back to my mental state, I feel like from the time I was a kid, I've just had so many traumatic experiences and bad things happen to me that my brain just doesn't know how to take a situation that's good and just enjoy it. I'm always thinking of the worst case scenario. I'm always thinking of some horrible thing that's looming in the future. Or, for example, I went to the park with my kid and my husband today and we were having a great time. And, we were on the playground and played some basketball, whatever. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, okay, yeah, your mother-in-law hates you and you're gonna die soon, and then she's gonna like take over your son's life and ruin him. And it's like my worst fears, they just creep up on me, and I'm always thinking like, okay, I'm gonna die young, I'm gonna die young, I'm gonna die young, and I'm gonna leave my kid behind, and my kid is not gonna know me, he's not gonna know how much I love him, he's not gonna know all my, everything I've been through. I get so angry sometimes because I feel like if my childhood had been different, if my life had been different, maybe I would be normal now. I don't think I'm normal. Like, this is not normal. I feel like I'm in a therapy session right now, but I'm like talking to a camera and it's really weird. But I just wish that I could enjoy my life right now and enjoy what I have instead of just constantly being scared of the future and having these like doubts. Sorry, my son woke up. I think he kind of sensed that I was sad. Anyway, so I have a friend who has been on my case for years, probably a decade now, telling me to go to the doctor, get some medications for your anxiety. She keeps telling me like, hey, it's gonna help you with your quality of life, and I get it, but I'm in the healthcare field and I think I know a little too much, so I'm always afraid that if I do get on medications for my anxiety or OCD, that I'm going to end up with a bunch of other issues that I don't want to deal with. So I'd rather just suffer with the anxiety rather than just take the chance and try a medication out. I guess that's my problem, that I don't really want to take medications. Even when I was pregnant, I kept thinking throughout the pregnancy that something was going to happen to my kid. Like, I remember one day I was 5 months pregnant and we were at Dave & Buster's and we were playing. It's like an arcade for people who might not know. And we were just playing and having a good time. And then I was like, I didn't feel the baby kick. So I'm like pushing on my stomach and poking my stomach and doing all these things that I usually would do. And that would elicit a response from my baby. And nothing happened. So I was like panicking. I was like, I gotta go to the car. So I went to the car and I kept like pushing, poking everything in the car because I was like, okay, maybe it's too loud there. Maybe I'm too active. I don't feel it. So I sat still in the car and I couldn't feel anything and I just started crying and I like assumed that the worst thing had happened. And then a little after that, he kicked me and I was like, like just my whole life, I've had so many bad things happen that I can't take something that's good and just accept it, that I deserve this good moment or this good thing or this blessing. And I just always think that it's going to be snatched from me. And, my worst fear is that I am going to, not be here for my child. I'm always afraid that I'm not going to be here to see my son grow up, to be a part of his life, to hopefully have a good or positive influence on him, and to just watch him grow. Like, he's my biggest blessing of my life. Before my baby, I was always afraid about my husband. Like, don't get me wrong, to this day, I still always think that God forbid something's gonna happen to my husband. And these are just really bad doubts and thoughts that I get. And I know that it's from the shaitan, but I don't know how to put a stop to it. So if anyone has any advice, please give me advice. Like, tell me in the comments. I really need help. I I'm kind of like hopeless. I don't know what else to do, and I probably will go and try out medications if nothing else works because I don't know what to do and I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm trying to change my diet around and get healthier overall. Um, so far, I'm seeing some changes in my health, but it's my mental health that's kind of like driving me up the wall right now. My uncle got diagnosed with cancer last year, and I didn't know until recently that it was stage 4. And he got surgery done, he got chemo, he got radiation, and now, like a month ago or a few weeks ago, I found out that it metastasized, so it spread to another part of his body, so he has to go through chemo again. He's basically just skin and bones, and I don't know what's going to happen to him because if you're going to be on chemo and you're not able to nourish your body, you're not gaining weight or maintaining your weight, he's only going to get weaker. Chemo is killing the bad cells or the overgrowth, but it's going to kill his healthy cells as well. So that's why chemo just makes people weak. And I don't know what the end game in all of this is for him either. I feel very bad that he's going through this, but I understand that Allah tests those whom He loves. So this is a test, a very difficult one for him and his wife, and for the rest of us as well. But they're the real, they're the ones who are really going through it. So if you guys could please make dua for him as well, that would be great. I feel like lately all my videos have just been make dua for me, make dua for me, make dua for me, but you guys are like my little virtual family, and I am sharing things with you guys that I don't really get to share with other people. Like, it's just comforting in a way and also weird and unusual, and I never thought I would ever be doing this, but I like it. I like the little community we have. I like that we're able to share ideas and give each other advice and make dua for one another, so that's great. And any advice for me with my mental health, I'd really appreciate it because, yeah, I know it's probably shaitan, it's my iman, and it's also my life experiences. I basically turned into this person who's just always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, I'm constantly hyper vigilant and just thinking like, okay, when is the next tragedy gonna occur? When is the next life-changing thing going to occur? And I know a lot of people say like, oh, what you put out into the universe is gonna come back to you, like the law of attraction and all of that. I don't know if there's any like Islamic merit to that, but no matter how much I tell myself, be positive, be positive, be positive, it's like negative things have always happened to me. So my brain is trained or just believes that that's it. Negative things just always happen to me. I just have bad luck, or quote unquote, God loves me. So these are my tests. I don't know how to change my mindset. I don't know if anyone else has experienced anything like this. Desperate for advice. And Please keep me in your du'as that my son can grow up to be a healthy, self-sufficient, and pious young man, and that I can live and my husband can live to see him grow up, and hopefully, inshallah, when they get married and have a family of his own, and that Allah can like quiet my fears and kind of tell my brain to shush. Like my brain is always in overdrive. It's like too active and I want it to kind of chill. So sorry for the long video. I don't know where all of this came from. What was all that sound? I don't know if it was the bathroom. I feel better after recording this video. So thank you guys. For those of you who are watching, those of you who are not watching, those of you who are leaving lovely comments, and those of you who are leaving hateful comments, I'm just gonna start blocking the haters so I don't care anymore. Thanks for listening, or thank you to my phone for listening. Assalamu alaikum, bye.